How's it going, everyone? Got quite a lot to talk about in this video, coming off the heels of yesterday where we talked about Halo the Master Chief Collection. Coming to PlayStation 5, it looks like a bevy of other Xbox titles will be coming to PlayStation 5 in 2025. One of them I find particularly interesting. Now, this was all initially started by Nate the Hate over on his podcast, and then Jez Corden spoke on it as far as a variety of other Xbox titles coming to PlayStation, and it does seem like Microsoft is going very much into this multi-platform wave, so let's talk about it. Okay, so we already know about Halo the Master Chief Collection. On top of that, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 looks to be coming to PlayStation in 2025 as well. It was noted on Windows Central by Jez Corden. I can corroborate independently with our own sources that all of the above is most likely true. It seems that Microsoft isn't stopping there, though. As previously noted by Xbox CEO Phil Spencer, there are no red lines when it comes to the games Microsoft aims to bring to other platforms. I noted in an analysis last year that any Xbox game is capable of making a good return on investment from going multi-platform. Absolutely, well, do so. To that end, I've heard in addition to the above, Hellblade 2, Age of Mythology, and potentially Gears of War Ultimate Edition are also all slated for PlayStation 5 this year too, although I'm unsure if that includes the Nintendo Switch 2. I would expect that it most likely does if I had to guess that part. So, in yesterday's video, one of the things that I had noted is Halo coming to PlayStation 5 is such a big deal because Halo is an IP that is absolutely synonymous with the Xbox brand. The arrival of the Master Chief character on PlayStation would honestly be damn near a hell freezing over kind of moment. It's something that I think back, 10, 15 years ago, we would have never expected something like that to happen. Now, ultimately, this is very akin to Sega becoming a third-party game publisher rather than a console manufacturer when they stepped away from doing consoles after, the Dreamcast came out, and then now Sega is one of the beloved publishers in all of gaming, but Xbox is still releasing consoles. That's the difference here. Xbox is still a console that is out. It looks like there's going to be a next generation Xbox, and also it has to be known and it has to be seen that they're not going absolutely all in on multi-platform. They're very much going into multi-platform, but all in would entail Gears of War E-Day, Fable, Avowed, literally everything day one on PlayStation. Now, there are day one titles coming to PlayStation that are being published by Microsoft. Bethesda titles such as Doom the Dark Ages, Obsidian's The Outer Worlds 2. We know those two games, and those are two games that are major Xbox exclusives. In fact, I would say if Outer Worlds 2 and Doom were actual Xbox exclusives, there's an argument to be made that Xbox would have the stronger lineup this year over PlayStation. In fact, I would say based on what's announced, that argument is, I would lean towards Xbox. If Doom the Dark Ages was an exclusive, if Outer Worlds 2 was an exclusive, you've got Avowed, you've got South of Midnight, and now the talk of Gears of War E-Day being a 2025 title as well, and who knows as far as what's going to be revealed at the Direct, but that's a pretty great lineup as far as games concerned. PlayStation, on the other hand, we know Death Stranding 2, we know Ghost of Yotai, and I would say out of all of the games I just mentioned, Ghost of Yotai is probably the game I'm looking forward to the most, but man, Doom the Dark Ages and Outer Worlds 2, those are pretty major releases, and it's funny to me that Microsoft and Xbox are having this major first-party year, and this is the moment that they're deciding to go multi-platform, giving less and less of a reason to actually get an Xbox, and the biggest drawing card to having published titles when you are a manufacturer of a console as well, when you're also publishing games, is to utilize those games as a drawing card to get people into your ecosystem. Now, Microsoft has always been kind of a little bit different than PlayStation because their ecosystem is more than just their console. It's Game Pass. It's releasing games on PC. I've always said that I think releasing games on PC and releasing games on your direct competitor in PlayStation, two completely different things. And the Windows Central article makes point of Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth coming to Xbox. Look, that's great. I'm happy those games are coming to Xbox, but those are Square Enix published titles. And why this is so bad from an optics standpoint is Microsoft's giving all of this to PlayStation. Hi-Fi Rush, Hellblade 2, Age of Mythology, Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition potentially, Halo the Master Chief Collection, and in return, PlayStation won't even give them LEGO Horizons. You'll get MLB The Show because I believe that's baked into the MLB contract with the game publishing rights. However, we can't even get LEGO Horizons. Oh, but they'll give Nintendo LEGO Horizons. I even look at something like Freedom Wars. They gave the license to DIMS, and that game got published. The remaster got published by Bandai Namco. You'll notice that that game did not release on Xbox. I don't know if that's connected whatsoever of PlayStation just being like, okay, we want none of our games on Xbox if we can do anything about it. And really, the monetization elevation that a Spider-Man would have, yes, it would sell okay on Xbox, but ultimately, does that warrant what they are giving away? And that is utilizing Spider-Man as a drawing card into their console ecosystem. I don't believe, and they've said as much, that they view PC as a direct competitor, and on top of that, PC gets delayed games. They won't even go day one on PC. PlayStation just looks at it a different way, but I think if you're talking about it in the console landscape, just optically, why would you get an Xbox unless you really do value Game Pass as a value proposition? That's who I would deem like Xbox being worth it for now. If you value Game Pass as a value proposition, if you're already entrenched in the Xbox ecosystem, maybe you prefer the controller, but if you're talking about it from a sheer games lineup standpoint, on Xbox, you're gonna have, you know, all of these Microsoft published games, but guess what? On PlayStation, if you're a big fan of Marvel games, and this is a point that's regularly being made, well, Microsoft is going to be publishing Marvel's Blade. I would imagine that that's going to get a PlayStation release. Well, on PlayStation, I can play Marvel's Blade, I can play Marvel's Spider-Man, and I could play Marvel's Wolverine when that came out on Xbox. I only got Marvel's Blade. Obviously, people would go towards PlayStation at that point. Oh, by the way, on PlayStation, I'm going to be able to play Halo Master Chief Collection. I can play Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition if those two actually do drop. But then I've also got Ghost of Yotai. I've also got Spider-Man 2. I've also got Intergalactic. We've also got these other games that I believe won't be released on Xbox. What I do see PlayStation doing in terms of multi-platform is maybe releasing their legacy titles on Nintendo Switch 2. You know, throw them a bone with Spider-Man 2018, but people like to blanket state that, hey, multi-platform is something that everybody is delving into now. Yes, but Microsoft is the only one that's putting their games on the direct competitor, and on top of that, getting nothing in return. PlayStation will put a LEGO Horizon on Nintendo platforms and Nintendo Switch, but I don't consider them a direct competitor. Xbox and PlayStation, those have always been the direct competitor, and I just think from an optics standpoint, this looks really bad for Xbox from a console standpoint. Now, ultimately, it's not all in on the multi-platform, as I've mentioned. Gears of War E-Day, Fable, those games not multi-platform yet, and this is kind of step 2. Step 1 was the Hi-Fi Rushes, the Pendiments, the lower-key Xbox titles making their way on over to PlayStation. Okay, great. Step 2 is now Halo Master Chief Collection, Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition. These are franchises that are synonymous within the Xbox brand and the Xbox ecosystem. Step 3 would ultimately be Halo, Gears of War, those titles coming day one to PlayStation. And I don't know if Microsoft's ready to do that. I don't think that would be a great idea right now if they have any care for Xbox. I think you have to be a little bit careful as far as what you're dropping day one. That's my standpoint in terms of facilitating a healthy console environment where Xbox still has some value. You don't want to destroy all of its value where the only drawing card is Game Pass. If you really want Game Pass and you prefer console gaming, that's another thing. If you want Game Pass, you could get a PC and get Game Pass, but I do like this idea of, you know, something like the Xbox being this machine that can play all of these games, and from a value standpoint, it's really worthwhile. I just think you're not targeting as many people as possible when that's concerned, but Microsoft's business model is changing as well. It's a lot to ascertain, and I think people will have a lot of different points. I think a big point that a lot of people are bringing up is that just, hey, Microsoft, get out of the console landscape, get out of the console marketplace. It's just become a third-party publisher, and I see why people want that. Why I don't want that is I just want a direct competitor for PlayStation and Sony, and I'll say that over and over again. I don't want to live in this world where PlayStation is the only game in town when it comes to console gaming. Yes, Nintendo will exist, but Nintendo, again, on an island. I want PlayStation to have a direct competitor. I don't give a damn if that's Microsoft, if it's Valve, if it's Amazon. I want PlayStation to have a direct console competitor because PlayStation being in this world where they got all the cards, I don't think that's going to be the best for the interest of the consumer, but we'll see how all that shakes out. Definitely some interesting news and one of the bigger stories of 2025 to keep an eye on, especially when we're now talking about MCC and Gears of War potentially coming to PlayStation. Even if it's not the newest Halo title, I think most people would prefer Master Chief Collection over a Halo Infinite. And Gears of War 1, I mean, if you want to introduce people to Gears of War on PlayStation, it's a pretty damn good way to do so. That's going to do it for me. Oh, and by the way, it would be great to get a Gears of War complete collection, you know, 1, 2, and 3. And if you don't want to drop Fable 2025, I'll say it again, a Fable collection would do really, really well. Fable 2 is this game that's just stuck on the 360, and that game is a phenomenal RPG. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.